From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
And it's 5 o'clock here on your Thursday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
And good morning. I'm Rafael Sanchez. Here are your headlines on this August the 20th.
So more money is on the way for Hoosiers on unemployment. New details this morning on how much the state is offering and when the new checks will begin being sent out.
As the pandemic continues, more families are choosing to homeschool. Our Alyssa Donovan talked to one mom about why she's becoming her child's teacher and making that a much safer option for her and her family.
And the city of Indianapolis is taking some new steps to improve safety in the downtown area. What city leaders say is being done to curb crime as well as help those who are facing homelessness. But first here, we want to thank you for joining our team on Good Morning Indiana. Rafael, thanks for joining us from down in Johnson County.
Lauren, good morning to you. Todd, good morning to you as well. As you head out this morning, your child may need a light jacket at the school bus stop. It's a little cool for a August morning, Todd Clausen.
Yeah, you know, right on par with yesterday. So if you had the jacket yesterday, you're definitely going to want it. Today, again, as temperatures for the most part are in the 50s across central Indiana. A couple locations here still holding on to 60 degrees, including Indianapolis, but it is very comfortable. And yeah, Rafael, for August, feels great out there, running a little bit below where we should be. So what do you need to grab before you go as you walk out the door? Well, have the sunglasses, the light jacket, as we mentioned, and also the sunscreen. The sun's still pretty strong this time of year, so make sure you have that handy as you get going on this great morning. 57 in Muncie, 53 in Kokomo, 63 in Indianapolis, a pair of fives in Bloomington with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway looking all great there, lit up as you look into turn 2 and then beyond towards downtown Indianapolis. Not much to show you on the satellite radar picture, not picking up any clouds and or any showers. So as we work our way throughout the day today, sunny skies from start to finish, should be up to about 76 degrees by the noon hour, with high temperatures today just a smidge warmer than they were yesterday, as we'll be topping off in the low 80s. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now as you're heading out on the roads. This is a live look at I-65 near 21st Street, just a little north of the downtown area where traffic is moving along up to speed. I want you to keep in mind some new road construction we have. This went into effect in the overnight hours. The on-ramp is now closed from West Street to southbound I-65 and eastbound I-70. This will last through Friday, September 4th. They'll reopen it around the lunch hour. So if you're trying to get through that area and you're trying to get on the interstate, you may want to use a spot like this, or you may want to get on at Meridian Street at the North Split, maybe over at Washington Street. So a number of options to avoid West Street and MLK throughout the next week or so. So people in Indiana will get extra unemployment benefits, although it could take up to a month for the payments to start.
And Lauren, this will impact thousands of Hoosiers. Governor Eric Holcomb announced that Indiana will join that federal program. It will provide an extra $300 a week in unemployment benefits. It's part of the executive order President Trump signed for pandemic relief earlier this month, as you may recall. Now, the payments will be retroactive to August the 1st, according to the governor. The additional payment will more than double Indiana's average weekly unemployment benefit, which is about $280. The Department of Workforce Development says it is working on making adjustments to process those new benefits.
As you may recall, back when we started our pandemic mitigation back in March, we had to build several new systems to accommodate these federal programs. This is also another federal program. But this program is actually run through FEMA, not necessarily directly through the U.S. Department of Labor. So it's going to take a little bit of extra effort on our part in terms of moving staff to build a new system.
That's Fred Payne. He oversees the Department of Workforce Development, and he says the payments likely will not begin until September, until the systems are updated. FEMA has said the additional funding may last 5 or 6 weeks, depending on how many states participate.
It is 5:04. More and more Indiana students are turning to homeschooling amid the pandemic. As thousands of kids start the school year, some in person and some virtually, one Indiana mom is taking on the role of teacher for her child. And our Alyssa Donovan spoke with her, and she has the details. Alyssa, good morning.
That's right, Lauren. And the Indiana Association of Home Educators is a great resource for families looking to homeschool their children. Since the pandemic, that association has received an influx of parents looking for information. We spoke with one mom who's rising to the challenge this year. For the first time, she'll be homeschooling her daughter, and she's using multiple tools to do it.
My daughter Ada is 10 and my son Oscar is 6.
And instead of returning to classrooms this year, Liz Boltz-Ranfeld's kids will be at the kitchen table, sitting in bed, or doing their lessons in the backyard. For now, Ranfeld is just homeschooling her daughter, who's in 5th grade, while opting for virtual learning for her son through his school district. The choice for their family to do some type of distance learning was an easy one.
My husband has several pretty serious chronic respiratory diseases, and we knew that we could not send them back into the school setting.
Ranfeld is using a mixture of strategies for her daughter's curriculum, including workbooks, activities, and OutSchool, an online platform for virtual classes.
Some of them have homework, some of them don't. Some of them are one-time classes that are an art project or talking about a history lesson. Others are ongoing classes that you take week after week and do writing.
While they don't plan to homeschool forever, right now, it's what's right for their family.
It makes us feel safer because we know that we are limiting not just our exposure to COVID, but specifically my husband's exposure. He would have very severe health implications if he were to get sick.
Ranfeld also feels since she is now working from home and has the ability to homeschool, the choice is also helpful to keeping others safe.
By keeping them home and keeping them out of the classroom, we're helping to reduce the number of students who need to be in the classroom. That's one fewer kid that's crowding the room in terms of making distancing difficult.
And she says the advice she would give to anyone that's looking to homeschool their children this coming school year, or this school year that's already started, the best advice she can give is to use resources that are out there. The Indiana Association of Home Educators has a ton of resources on their website. There's also Facebook groups with people who are experienced in homeschooling that you can reach out to, and of course OutSchool, which is a great tool for Ranfeld. Reporting live, I'm Alyssa Donovan, WRTV.
Alyssa, thank you. It is 5:07. Hundreds of new coronavirus cases continue to be reported here in the Hoosier State. The Indiana State Department of Health is reporting 506 new positive cases. That takes the state's total to more than 82,000 cases. 14 new deaths were also reported, bringing the death toll to 2,968. More than 934,000 Hoosiers have been tested for the virus so far. About 8.8% of those tests have come back positive. Raphael?
As city leaders in Indianapolis, Lauren, they're making a major investment to improve safety in downtown Indianapolis. Mayor Joe Hogg said he outlined that more than $750,000 will be allocated to address ongoing problems, including crime as well as homelessness. Now, some of that money will be used to increase the number of security cameras in the downtown area. It will also launch Downtown Indy's Safety Ambassador Program, which will employ civilians and cadet police officers to conduct more foot and bike patrols in the downtown area. Additional money will also be used to help those experiencing homelessness by offering housing to 500 people.
With that rapid rehousing, that will allow homeless folks to be housed for up to 24 months.
Officials say the extra police patrols are expected to start by the end of the month. And maybe you noticed the new portable fencing around the city market during the evening hours in downtown Indianapolis. City market officials tell WRTV that they spoke to their security partner. They determined the fencing is a good strategy to discourage overnight violence and crime near the city market, and it helps them enforce their daily hours. The fencing will be placed every night when the market closes and then removed every morning prior to their opening.
It is 5:09. The 104th running of the Indianapolis 500 will happen on Sunday without fans in the stands. Of course, that will impact IMS and other local businesses, but the change is also impacting nonprofit organizations. The Speedway Lions Club usually makes thousands of dollars on race week, parking cars in the Coke lot. It's the organization's biggest fundraiser of the year. Vincent Noblet, a member of the board of directors, says the money allows the group to serve the community throughout the year.
It affects every program from internationally, cancer control, the eye bank, leader dogs for the blind. It affects how many scholarships will be given away to the high school students.
So to help make up for the loss, the Exchange Club of Speedway has set up a donation section on their website. The money will be distributed to organizations in need. We have a link to this story on our website and the WRTV app.
So, Lauren, as you know, the pandemic has changed everything, right? Including the Indy 500 related events. But now you can enjoy some of those traditions safely from your vehicle. Today you can visit the McDonald's on 71st Street for a drive-through community fundraiser. It will feature the 500 princesses, some pace cars, and of course, some giveaways. The McDonald's will also donate a portion of the day's sales to the 500 Festival Foundation, which provides free health and education programs for Hoosier youth. That fundraiser starts at 6 and runs all the way through 5 this evening.
And for most, this is the greatest spectacle in racing. We have another WRTV trackside special tonight. Tony Kanaan joins our day first to look at how the pandemic has changed the preparations for this year's race. Brad Brown sits down with last year's Rookie of the Year. Jared Andretti remembers his dad, John, and a Throwback Thursday with Danny Sullivan. All of that and more tonight at 7:30, only on WRTV. And it's unfortunate no fans are allowed at the track, Todd, because this week the weather has been picture perfect.
Yeah, it has been, Lauren. Yesterday was absolutely terrific. Today is going to be very similar to yesterday, maybe just a degree or two warmer temperature-wise. So as the kids head off to school here this morning, they are in great shape if they do have to go to the bus stop. Maybe a light jacket's needed with a temperature right around 59 degrees. 80 degrees as the kids come home, so definitely send them outside to play with the neighborhood kids, or just get them outside with yourself and go for a walk or a bike ride. Looking ahead, it's dry for Thursday, today and tomorrow, and then some slight rain chances do enter the forecast for the weekend. We'll talk about those rain chances coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Lauren and I welcome you back to Good Morning Indiana. Democrats put the issues of gun violence, climate change, and immigration front and center on the third night of the Democratic National Convention.
Some of the party's biggest names also include former President Barack Obama, who shared some harsh words on President Donald Trump. Scripps correspondent Joe St. George reports.
Donald Trump hasn't grown into the job because he can't.
Former President Barack Obama with a scathing review of his successor on night 3 of the Democratic Convention, the most public rebuke by one president about another president in years.
This administration has shown it will tear our democracy down if that's what it takes for them to win.
The evening also putting Senator Kamala Harris front and center as she accepted the vice presidential nomination.
I know a predator when I see one. There is no vaccine for racism.
The issues of immigration.
Now my mom is gone, and she's been taken from us for no reason at all.
Gun violence, climate change, and others highlighted by the Biden-Harris campaign, with Hillary Clinton and Elizabeth Warren speaking too.
This can't be another woulda, coulda, shoulda election.
We all need to be in the fight to get Joe and Kamala elected.
Warren's speech aimed at progressives like Sean Sindelman, a convention delegate for Bernie Sanders, who tells us he's not quite on board with the Biden campaign yet.
Are you going to vote for Joe Biden? I'll be honest, he has to earn my vote.
As for President Trump, he was live tweeting while President Obama was still speaking, saying he spied on my campaign. Trump later today will speak in Pennsylvania, just hours before the Democratic Convention concludes with Joe Biden's address to the American people. In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
President Trump is calling for a boycott of Goodyear tires after an employee posted a viral photo of a company policy banning Make America Great Again attire. The employee's viral tweet showed that slide during a training at Goodyear plant. It said that Black Lives Matter attire was acceptable, but MAGA and other materials were not. The president later tweeted telling people not to buy Goodyear tires. Goodyear responded saying that the training slide was not distributed by corporate, but explained that they do ask associates to refrain from displaying support for any political campaign or party.
Good morning to Avon, Cloverdale, and Martinsville. This morning, we have an update on a nationwide salmonella outbreak. This one is linked to onions. The CDC says that more than 800 people in 47 states have become infected because of this, 3 of those right here in Indiana. The CDC says to avoid red, white, yellow, and sweet onions that come from Thompson International. It also added cheese dips made with these onions to the list of recalls. These were all sold between May the 15th and August the 6th at a variety of stores, including at Kroger. Time now to check your forecast on this August the 20th. And Todd Clausen, listen, there's a lot of reasons to complain. Sometimes this is not the day, especially for an August day.
No.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, you know, you're right, Raphael. Yesterday was fantastic, probably a 10 of 10. Today's right up there as well. Here we are in the middle to the latter half of August, and we have virtually no humidity out there again today. We'll have very comfortable temperatures and lots of sunshine. So here's how your headlines break down throughout the day. Today, this morning, the temps are a little on the cool side once again. There's no doubt about that. We are in the 50s in almost all locations, holding on to 62, though, in the city. This afternoon, nothing but sunshine, and this evening, once again, near perfect for us. So sunny from start to finish. Beautiful view this morning from IMS, looking back towards not only downtown Indianapolis, but in the foreground there, all lit up. You can see turn 2 as well. 53 in Kokomo, Pair Nichols in Bloomington at 55 degrees. 63 is the current temperature in the metro area in Muncie, sitting at 57. The satellite radar picture locally is very, very quiet. And as we expand out, you do notice it becomes a little more unsettled in spots across the country. And one of the things we'll have to keep an eye on is the potential to our south for some showers and storms to start to sneak up here as we get into the weekend. Part of a upper level area of low pressure that's going to come out of the Mississippi Valley area and then start to lift its way to the north. But this morning, no issues whatsoever as you get going, maybe walk around the canal or just your neighborhood or on the beeline down in Bloomington, the Monon Trail here up towards the metro area. Temperatures will be going from the 60s into the 70s eventually by the time we get to 11 a.m. But you can see we're staying on the cool side at least through about 7, 8 o'clock this morning. Once the sun gets higher up, mostly sunny skies. 82 degrees will be your high temperature for the day today. This evening, if you have plans, you are in great shape. Temperatures will slowly start to fall back down into the 70s. And once the sun sets, which is at 8:34 here this evening, notice the temperature drop from 76 at 8 p.m. down to 71 already by 10 p.m. And then tomorrow morning, you wake up to clear skies, still very comfortable, calm winds, and a temperature of 57 degrees. And then throughout the day tomorrow, the one change you'll notice, a little bit warmer. We're back up into the mid 80s. And then as we get into the afternoon hours, skies become partly cloudy. So we'll start to build in just a little more in the way of cloud cover. Saturday, some spotty showers or a thunderstorm sneak into the forecast, especially to the south. And then as we work our way into Sunday, again, just a chance of a spot storm in the forecast. Otherwise, no issues. A warm race day with a high of 86 degrees, but even warmer, Lauren, as we head into Monday and Tuesday with high temperatures near 90 degrees.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads at this early hour. To start your Thursday, here's a live look at I-465 and I-74. If you look at the top left corner of your screen, you can still see some flashing lights up there. We did have a crash blocking the right lanes. That's moved over into the right shoulder, and it looks like traffic is still getting by just fine. No crashes to slow you down. Again, this is at I-465 and Crawfordsville Road. That crash cleanup is in the southbound side of the interstate. Raphael?
So, Lauren, a big question for you on this Thursday. Are you missing the smell of those big buckets of buttered popcorn? Because if you are, today AMC theaters will be reopening their doors across the country, even right here in Indianapolis. You see, AMC plans to reopen more than 100 of its theaters, including Castleton Square, 14, and Indianapolis, 17. There's also a discounted price of admission, 15 cents per movie, plus tax. Now, masks, as you know, will also be required. Right now in Marion County, movie theaters can only be open at 25% capacity.
Well, if you prefer to keep your streaming movies at home, Netflix has a new way to watch. You can now watch movies and shows at random with the Shuffle Play feature. It works by picking content based on your previous viewing history, but it goes a step further by automatically starting to play the selection. If you decide you want to see something else, you can skip ahead to the next show. Netflix says the feature was built for the indecisive viewer who doesn't know what they want to watch. For now, they're only testing this on connected TV devices like smart TVs and Roku.
Sign me up for that service. I want to have that. You need to meet this young local Eagle Scout using his skills to support education in his community. After the break, how his project is helping give students a boost this school year. Thank you for starting your morning with us here on Good Morning Indiana. It is Thursday, August the 20th. So you have to meet this young man from Hamilton County. A local Eagle Scout is making sure that students are set up for success before they return to class this year. So meet Kevin Wang. He's a junior at Carmel High School in Hamilton County, and for his Eagle project, he collected enough school supplies to fill 15 boxes. He and fellow scouts also wrote 800 notes of encouragement for fellow classmates. He dropped off the donations at the Avondale Meadows Middle School yesterday afternoon. And by the way, Kevin also built 3 bookshelves for the school. He hopes his project encourages others in the community to give back during this difficult time. And Todd, if anyone sees Kevin Wang there in Carmel, make sure you buy all of his popcorn. Let's help Kevin out this season. And Kevin, I'll take a couple of bags of the cheddar stuff because that's good stuff. And Todd, you also have good stuff today in the forecast.
Yeah, you know, we do, Raphael. You know, you can get your popcorn, you can sit on your patio and just, you know, throw it up in the air like you'd like to do and catch it in your mouth. It's going to be a great day to be outside for popcorn eating or just about anything. As we get outdoors this morning, temperatures are in the 60s, warming up to 76 degrees by the time we get to the noon hour, and then high temperatures today, slightly warmer than yesterday, but just as sunny, and the humidity remains just as low, so it's a terrific Thursday for us. We'll talk more about the weekend forecast for you coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now at 5:30, more Indiana families choosing homeschooling for their kids during this pandemic. This morning, we're looking at the tools available to help parents taking on the role of teachers.
And the key moment of the night 3 of the Democratic National Convention, Senator Kamala Harris accepting the nomination as the party's vice presidential nominee. We have a recap and what you can expect from the final night of the convention.
Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Thursday, August the 20th. It is going to be absolutely beautiful out today, Lauren. And let me just say this for the last time. A perfect day for us to do a Thursday takeout, for me to pay for lunch, but you and Todd have yet to take me up on the offer. I will meet you anywhere. Shelbyville, Mooresville, Carmel, Kokomo, Greenwood. You pick it, I'll pay. But listen, when it gets hotter, I'm not sitting outside. I'm just telling you that right now.
Okay. Oh, my goodness. Todd, we've got to get on this and schedule this. I don't know what we're waiting for.
All right. I think we just got to find the most expensive place we can think of for lunch, and we'll be on our way. All right, and we'll take you up on that eventually, Raphael. All right, outside right now we are dealing with very comfortable conditions. The skies are clear. There's a little bit of a light breeze, and we are dealing with temperatures that are sitting in the 50s and 60s. 63 still in Indy right now, but Lafayette and Bloomington, 55 degrees. Everybody's skies are completely clear. And I just love that shot of IMS all lit up with the city skyline in the background. Satellite radar picture is completely quiet across the area. That is the good news, not only for this morning, but throughout the day today. We really don't have to worry about anything in the way of precipitation or cloud cover for that matter, as the skies will be mostly sunny. And here's your hour-by-hour forecast trend as we work our way throughout the day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You notice we warm really quickly here this morning, 76 degrees by the noon hour. High temperatures today into the low 80s, and then we'll cool off pretty quickly once again as the sun starts to set right around 8:30 this evening. More on that weekend forecast and the 500 weather coming up in just a few minutes. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a look at your commute as you're heading out there this Thursday morning. South of the downtown area, this is that ongoing construction zone at I-65 and Keystone Avenue. That south end of the interstate has been demolished as they're working on the bridge in that area. So southbound lanes have been shifted over to the northbound side. So be aware of that traffic shift as you have been the past few days. Northbound side is traveling up to speed. Be aware that this is an active construction zone and you'll want to take it slow. So history was made last night, Raphael, at the Democratic National Convention. California Senator Kamala Harris, now the first woman of color to formally join a major party's presidential ticket.
Included a number of speeches, including that from former President Barack Obama, from the 26th Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton, as well as an Indianapolis mom whom we'll hear from in just a few moments. But first, ABC's Ines de la Cuetara has the latest from Washington.
I accept your nomination for Vice President of the United States of America.
Overnight, California Senator Kamala Harris making history as the first Black woman and Asian American to formally join a major party's presidential ticket.
We must elect a president who will bring something different, something better, and do the important work. We must elect Joe Biden.
Harris giving the keynote on day 3 of a virtual DNC. Former President Barack Obama delivering perhaps the largest rebuke a former president has ever offered of a current one.
I did hope, for the sake of our country, that Donald Trump might show some interest in taking the job seriously. This administration has shown it will tear our democracy down if that's what it takes for them to win.
Hillary Clinton with a similar message.
Remember back in 2016 when Trump asked, "What do you have to lose?" Well, now we know. Our health care, our jobs, our loved ones, our leadership in the world, and even our post office.
The party showing it is united in its criticism of the president. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi blasting Trump over his treatment of women, and Senator Elizabeth Warren criticized his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Donald Trump's ignorance and incompetence have always been a danger to our country. COVID-19 was Trump's biggest test. He failed miserably.
President Trump hitting back, tweeting throughout the night after making these comments earlier Wednesday.
The reason I'm here is because of President Obama and Joe Biden. Because if they did a good job, I wouldn't be here.
And tonight, Joe Biden will take center stage to close out the convention. He plans to accept his party's nomination from Wilmington, Delaware. Ines de la Cuetara, ABC News, Washington.
And an Indianapolis mother also took center stage during last night's convention. Deandra Dykes founded the group Purpose for My Pain after her son was shot in 2014. That injury left him paralyzed and unable to speak. Dykes used her time in the national spotlight last evening to share a message about gun violence and to endorse Joe Biden.
I want a president who cares about our pain and grief. A president who will take on the gun lobby to ban assault weapons and close the loopholes to keep guns out of the hands of criminals. Joe Biden has taken on the NRA twice and won, and he will do it again as president.
Dykes tells WRTV that the DNC organizers reached out to her through the organization Every Town for Gun Safety.
And Lauren, WRTV continues to bring you the governor's answers to questions about absentee voting with the upcoming election just a couple of months away. Now, here's the governor's message during his weekly briefing on Wednesday.
A vast majority of folks that I hear from want to vote actually in person, and thankfully we had a Exhibit A, the primary election, where we proved that we could do it safely. So we've seen this unfold before recently, and that was when we were contemplating and coming off the heels of a stay-at-home order.
No excuse mail-in voting was allowed for the Indiana primary due to the pandemic and that stay-at-home order that the governor just talked about. The Secretary of State office tells WRTV, as of last Thursday, more than 37,000 absentee ballots have been requested. Around the same time, back in 2016, there were only 109 requests.
Well, according to the latest update from the State Department of Health, 506 new positive cases of COVID-19 were reported statewide between August 10th and Tuesday. The 7-day positivity rate between August 6th and the 12th was at 7.7%. 2,968 people in Indiana have died from the virus. We expect updated numbers from the state later today.
New this morning, families are looking really for options during this pandemic, and some are deciding to homeschool to educate their children at this moment in time. Alyssa Donovan joins us live this morning with the choice being made. Alyssa, good morning.
That's right, Raphael. More and more families are turning to homeschooling this year as a safer option for their families to start the school year. And I spoke with one mom who's taking on that challenge for the first time. Liz Boltz-Ranfield is educating her 5th grade daughter, Ada, while her 1st grade son, Oscar, does virtual learning through his school district. Ranfield says that she's using several methods to teach Ada, including workbooks, activities, and OutSchool, which is an online platform for virtual classes. The family decided to do some type of distance learning to help keep Ranfeld's husband safe, who has severe respiratory issues. She also feels like the choice is helpful to the rest of the community.
That's one fewer kid that's crowding the room in terms of making distancing difficult or being a person that could potentially spread asymptomatically or anything else.
Ranfeld says she doesn't plan to homeschool forever, but for now, it's what's right for her family. And Ranfeld also says that when she started building this structure for her daughter's education, she reached out on Facebook to a lot of different parents who are also doing homeschooling and have experience. There's a lot of Facebook groups that could be resources. There's also additional resources you can find to help you build a structure if you decide to homeschool on the Indiana Association of Home Educators. That's a website that has additional resources for you. And her best advice is that you reach out to others who are experienced with homeschooling. Reporting live, I'm Alyssa Donovan, WRTV.
Alyssa, thank you. State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Box announced the state is working on a school data dashboard. The public information would list COVID cases in our schools. The goal is to have this up and running by sometime next month. Right now, your child's school does not have to tell you about positive COVID-19 cases. WRTV Investigates has learned the state only requires your school to notify families that are directly impacted and need to quarantine. Jolene Toffick's daughter is attending in-person classes at Douglas MacArthur Elementary School in Perry Township. Jolene has health issues, but her daughter has special needs and benefits from in-person services. While Perry Township takes communication a step further by notifying parents and staff about positive cases within the school building, Jolene and other parents are pushing for even more transparency.
If we hear about these numbers through the grapevine, I think more panic sets in than them being transparent. Some parents might disagree, because I've seen some disagree, saying they don't want to hear and that people hear more numbers and they panic. And I do understand that concern as well, but I still think it's important because we're trying to know, we're trying to keep our community safe.
Well, the notification system can be confusing as parents across central Indiana are getting varying bits of information depending on how much their school district chooses to share. And while the state doesn't have a school database right now, WRTV is tracking COVID-19 cases at central Indiana schools. So we check out and verify every tip that's reported to us that we can, and then we add it to our database. You can search that database at WRTV.com to see if there's any reported cases at your child's school. At 5:42, we want to check in with Todd Clausen on today's forecast. Hey, Todd.
And Lauren, it's another great forecast for us here for the day today. The sun is going to be shining from start to finish throughout the day today. That's not going to change. We'll build in maybe a few fair weather clouds, and the humidity is low. So all we really have to focus on are the temperatures across the area. And because we're all in the same air mass with the sunshine and low humidity, temperatures not really going to vary much from northern locations here, 80 in Frankfurt, as well as Marion, 81 in Logansport, in and around the metro area, about 81 to 82 degrees for your high temperature in Shelbyville as well as Martinsville. And then southern locations, you'll see your high temperatures in that 80 to 83 degree range from Greensburg to Bloomington over towards Spencer and into the Bedford area. Another terrific day for us. We'll look ahead to the weekend for you coming up in just a little bit. The time now is 5:43.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. New developments this morning. We are hearing from one of the officers who is now criminally charged in the death of George Floyd. We're hearing his own words in this case. You see, Thomas Lane was one of the first officers on the scene on that day in Minnesota. His 90-minute audio interview with investigators was just recently released. During that interview, the rookie says he and his fellow officers thought that Floyd was on drugs. Lane also says that Derek Chauvin, who was the more senior officer and had his knee on Floyd's neck, directed how Floyd was restrained.
I think I had said again, I think we should roll him onto his side. And I believe Chauvin said, we have him, there's an ambulance coming, we got him, we're just going to hold here.
It seems like your gut reaction was something's not right here and we need to rethink how we are restraining Mr. Floyd.
Yeah. I would say I felt like it maybe could have been handled differently, or we should be reassessing what we're doing.
So in a motion to dismiss the charges, Lane's attorney says he did nothing wrong. That motion is now set to be heard in a court at the next hearing, which is set for September the 11th.
Attorney General William Barr says Operation Legend will keep going on as planned. The program involves sending more than 1,000 federal agents to 9 U.S. cities, including Indianapolis, to fight violent crime. It was named after Legend Taliaferro, a 4-year-old boy who was shot and killed while he was asleep in his Kansas City home back in June. The move drew scrutiny from some elected officials who said it was meant to stifle nationwide protests for racial justice. Barr dismissed the criticism, saying the operation has been a success so far.
The images are simply heartbreaking. Hundreds of thousands of wildfires really just taking over in California. More than 360 of those fires have been blamed on lightning strikes that occurred over a 72-hour period. And to make matters worse, the state is also dealing with a heat wave in that area. ABC's Mona Kozar-Abdi has the latest.
This morning, fear and devastation across California.
We've been through a lot of fires in this area. Nothing like this.
I looked up and the back of my house was on fire.
Hundreds of wildfires ravaging the state. The Bay Area, now the hardest hit of all.
Fire coming down the hill, so we're leaving.
Thousands in the region woke up in the middle of the night to find ominous scenes.
I could see the red glow and I was hearing explosions.
One woman saying she was only able to escape the oncoming flames because a friend called to warn her.
She told me before it came that it was coming, so that helped. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't have known in time.
And near Fresno, a helicopter en route for aerial support crashed, killing the pilot and sparking yet another fire. Officials say Thursday that multiple wildfires have now burned into each other, creating massive spans of flames called complexes, including one near Santa Clara that has burned nearly 100,000 acres.
The size and complexity at which these incidents are burning is challenging all aspects of emergency response.
In Napa, more than 46,000 acres have already burned, and at least 2,000 homes are threatened, and more than 50 have already been destroyed. And near Santa Cruz, a staggering 22 fires have burned together. More than 20,000 people now evacuated amid the serious threat to safety.
3 ambulance for burn injuries, 2 victims en route.
Firefighters now urging anyone in the fire's paths to take their safety into their own hands.
Even if you think the fire is a far distance away, we don't know what's going to happen.
Mona Kozar-Abdi, ABC News, New York.
And it's certainly a tough time there in California. They've had extreme heat with a good chunk of the western half of the nation seeing triple-digit temperatures. Obviously been very dry as well, and the wind doesn't help. So hopefully things will get better for them in the western portion of the country. Here in central Indiana, though, it's been a terrific stretch of weather. Yesterday was about as good as it gets for the middle to latter half of August, and we're going to carry yesterday's nice weather over to today as well. The one subtle difference, just a little bit warmer here later on this afternoon, but how great is this shot? I know I've been showing it to you all morning long, but I just can't get enough of it with the IMS all lit up there going into turn 2, and then the city skyline in the background, and the sky should start to brighten here in just a little bit, even though sunrise is still officially over an hour away. So as we work our way throughout the course of today, we'll have the sunshine from start to finish. The temperatures right now are in the 50s everywhere except Indianapolis, which is just running a little bit warmer at 63 degrees, but 55 in Bloomington, 57 in Richmond, 56 is the current temperature in Tipton right now, and radar is completely quiet. We'll expand out, and there are no clouds in the state of Indiana at all, and we'll build in some fair weather cumulus clouds, I think, as we work our way into the afternoon hours today. But overall, it is going to be absolutely terrific for us, with temperatures climbing through the 60s very quickly this morning, 76 degrees by the noon hour, with high temperatures eventually this afternoon topping off in the low 80s this evening. Temperatures will fall back down into the 70s under a clear sky. It's a near perfect evening once again for us. And then for tomorrow, we're back into the 50s. It's still, even though it's warmer this afternoon, it'll be even a little bit warmer for your high temperature tomorrow. It gets off to a great start with temperatures that will be in the 50s. And then throughout the day tomorrow, it starts off sunny, turns partly cloudy with a high temperature that gets up to around 85 degrees for the day tomorrow. And then for the weekend, we're looking at Saturday, better chance of storms, it looks like now Saturday than on Sunday. What we have going on as we put this into motion, this is on Saturday. You notice some scattered showers, part of an area of low pressure that is down to our south. They'll be spotty across the area, and then off to the east, this little band of rain here, that is what we'll have to keep an eye on for the 500. It should be weakening as it approaches, but we'll have to keep the chance of just a spot storm in the forecast as we work our way into race day, but you will definitely get the race in, not looking at any washout or anything like that. And then temperatures as we work our way into next week, near 90 degrees. Raphael?
Todd, thank you. We are hoping for a very dry Sunday here in central Indiana. The 104th running of the Indianapolis 500 is just days away. Of course, who's counting? It's only been really a year and 3 months since the last race. We've all been counting. We all want this race to obviously get underway. And of course, this year's race will be a lot different, as you know, because of the pandemic. Most notably, there'll be no fans in the stands due to COVID-19. We did speak to IMS President Doug Bowles, and he pointed out that despite many changes, certain aspects are staying the same.
So the elements that you would expect that are really, really important are staying. The national anthem with the singing surgeons we're excited about. Having Jim Corneliuson back again, I texted with him last night. He is so excited about the way he can interact with our fans, and he understands the importance of back home again in Indiana and those 90 seconds that no matter where you're from, whether you're here or you're watching, you're a Hoosier for that period of time.
This year, you'll be able to watch that race live on TV on that other network with the Peacock. The green flag drops at 2:30 in the afternoon. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV ABC.
Welcome back. Two Georgia teachers are going viral, Raphael, for their enthusiastic welcome back they're giving their students.
Yeah, so these teachers did a remake of Jack Harlow's song, What's Poppin'? Check this out. The message all about motivating students as they begin this school year remote learning. Here they are.
What's poppin'? Brand new year and I'm locked in. Far as this teaching go, I am unreachable. I'm number one in your top 10. Miss Williams, been popping. 2020 new school year dropping. No COVID-19, ain't worried about a thing when it come to me, ain't no stopping. I can teach your class with red, this drip hard. Go ahead, take a picture on your iPhone. 2020 school year, yeah, virtual. And you know Miss Williams go viral. Talk to school, I'm a fool with the lesson. Come learn with me, I swear it's a blessing. Classes in session, and we just progressing. Success is the topic and passes the message.
Williams said the video served as a perfect icebreaker for her students. Now to Todd Clausen, whose forecast on this Thursday is popping. Good morning, TK.
Yeah, it really is, Raphael. It's going to be a great day. I encourage you to get outside once again today, especially if you didn't have the opportunity for whatever reason yesterday. The weather's going to be very similar. The only difference, yesterday a high of 80 degrees. Today we're going up to a high of about 82 degrees with mostly sunny skies and a low humidity starting off in the 50s, as you saw there. We'll talk more about your extended forecast coming up at the top of the hour when Good Morning Indiana continues on WRTV.